Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is DVD Collector 1986 here with another video for you. This is going to be a mail day slash collection update video, I guess. Um, those of you following me on Facebook know that I've started to collect horror VHS tapes. I'm not collecting any other genre on VHS, just horror for nostalgic reasons, and because I got a VCR recently, and I got a few titles here, and I'm just gonna jump into it and show you what I got. First up, I'm gonna show this first. The Crow. This is already in one of those protective cases. I actually got this a few days ago, but on that particular day, this was the only movie that came in the mail. So I held on to it until some of these other things showed up, so I could just include this with a larger number of movies, so I could have a bigger update to show you. Um, but I just want to say I'm a big fan of this movie, of all movies in general, all genres considered, everything. This movie is in my top five of all time. I just like this movie a lot. This is actually a comic book movie. For those of you who don't know, um, this was this was pre Dark Knight. This was before Sin City. This was before um, Watchmen, and yes, even before Logan. I think this movie, maybe I'm completely wrong here, but there's a lot of people who know that this movie is based on a comic, and there's also a lot of people who don't know that. I think some people would be surprised to know that this was actually based on a comic. Um, and I really just like the movie, and I enjoy and really appreciate the message. Yes, it's a revenge movie. Yes, it's violent at times and all that, but in the particular case of this film, the vengeance is justified, so to speak. Um, the message I got from this movie is that um, that love, true love, is forever, and not only that, that it can transcend anything, even death. So, this is a really good movie, and I don't know, maybe I don't watch as many YouTube videos as I used to, or something, but I don't hear too many people talk about this movie anymore. Some people do, but not as many as there should be talking about it. This movie is really good. And of course, this was Brandon Lee's last movie, and I know I'm talking a lot about this particular movie, but that's why I wanted to show this first. At the end of the movie, on the actual VHS tape, there's a full interview with Brandon Lee, and that happened to be his final interview on camera ever. And he talks about how he really loved getting to play this role. He said it was the role of a lifetime, and one of the greatest roles he ever played. And he had a lot of really good things to say about it. And then it's tragic, kind of eerie, kind of scary, and but heartfelt at the same time, that he began to talk about um, you know life and death in the interview. He said, I'm so glad I got to play this role, because he said, how many times in life do you get offered the chance to do something you really, really enjoy and really, really want to do? How many times will you get to see the sunset? Um, how many times will you get to see the sunrise? How many times do you get to see a full moon? He was just going through different things that people take for granted, because what he was getting at was that people, even though they know they're going to die, people don't know when they're going to die. So he said, uh, up until your death, which you don't know when your death is going to happen, that until that moment, that um, life to average people is like an inexhaustible well that you keep drawing from. That you think it's never, that no matter how many times you dip into that well, you're never going to run out of stuff. And that's what he meant about, how many times are you going to see the sunrise? People think, oh, I'll just watch the sunrise every day if I want. But he said, in truth, the things that you take for granted are things that you'll only do a handful of times because we're all mortals. And he quoted some really neat quote from, I think it was either a book or some poetry, but I don't remember specifically exactly what, but it was really interesting what he had to say. And the reason this interview was so interesting was because he was talking about life and death and how we don't know when we're going to die and stuff like that. And lo and behold, that was the last interview that he ever did on camera. And further to that, he would die literally days after doing that interview, and he didn't even know it. So I think that's what made that so interesting to me. Anyway, this is a really good movie, and if you haven't seen it, you need to. What rock have you been under the last 24 years? You need to see. That's how old this movie is. So anyway, The Crow. And up next, Nightmare on Elm Street, the mastered in high definition. Although because it's VHS, it's not going to look like high definition. But I wanted the original VHS release of this, but I could not find it. So I settled for this because even though this isn't the original, it does have the original poster art, and that's what I was really looking for as far as cover art for this. And the rest of these I have not put in the protective plastic cases yet, but I'm just going to show them to you. So I've got that. Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. This is the Video Treasures. Yeah. Video Treasures release. Oh, and I don't know if I showed it or not. Maybe I did, but I was going to show y'all the back of this as well. And yeah, this is a 1997 VHS release of Nightmare on Elm Street. And like I said, this is Video Treasures. Also released by Anchor Bay. But these tapes are in really good shape. I was very impressed. And I'm also tracking these down. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Again, in really good shape. I might... maybe someone in the comments can tell me how, if you're gonna clean the cases or the paper sleeves that these come in, how do you do it without ruining the slip? Because there's nothing wrong with it except this movie and the VHS copy of Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, from a previous update. This one and that one both, I can smell that they came from the house of someone who obviously smokes. I mean, it's not that bad a smell, but it's there. And if anybody knows a way that I can get that smell out of these items, let me know. But other than that, this is in really good shape, and I love these. So, and lastly, um, we have. I'm going to show you the box first. The Alien Trilogy. This is when there were only 3 Alien films, and look at that. That is a solid case. That's like the same um, quality, durability of case that the Halloween 15 disc deluxe box set came in. It's literally very hard, very sturdy. That's the outer case. And then Alien. Aliens, my favorite movie in the franchise, by the way. And even though it's not my favorite, I have a very special place in my heart for Alien 3, David Fincher's first film, and it gets a lot of hate, but a lot like Halloween 6, there's a lot of similar lore. If you know the backstory to Halloween 6, this is a different film, obviously, but there's a lot of similar behind the scenes stuff that went on. And like Halloween 6, there is 2 different cuts of this. Well, there's 2 different cuts of every Alien film, by the way. But this one in particular, if you didn't like this movie, chances are when you first saw it, you only saw the theatrical version, which is what this is, the theatrical. But if you will watch the extended director's cut version, all the Alien films have alternate cuts, and the more modern box sets, and they're pretty good movies. But this one in particular has so much scenes added back in and so many alternate scenes that just like Halloween 6, the alternate cut of this movie feels like a totally different animal. And like I said, if you didn't like the theatrical version of this movie, and since then, all these years later, you still don't like this film, give the alternate cut a chance. Watch it, and I guarantee you, you probably will appreciate this movie a little bit more. And for me, just like with Halloween 6 for me is the end of the Halloween franchise. I don't care what anybody says. In my mind, that was the last good Halloween because Donald Pleasance, that was his last one, and so on and so forth. Well, likewise, this is the last Alien film in my book. I like the other ones after it. Alien Resurrection was okay. And then, of course, you got the Prometheus movies. Um, but but for me, these first 3 films and were the best, and Alien 3 was the bookend of these movies for me. So I will always consider the Alien movies to be a trilogy. And if you like the movies after Part 3, great, good for you. But for me, not so much. I focus on the first 3, and that's it. But anyway, I got these 3 also, and like I said, they go in this box set here. So that's it for today. I've got some more stuff coming in, but obviously it's not here yet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.